Yeah, I agree.
How could this be the final race of the season? We have 16 drivers.
Yeah, the new game came out, man. I had to put in 15 reserves between the 4 divisions, and we're still short.
Jesus.
Still people didn't show. So
at this point, that means Will Enns has just won the championship.
pretty much, he's just got to finish the race. Yeah. Oh man.
All right, can't say I saw that coming, but right. There's so many. What are we doing? I don't get it.
I'm just gonna tell him to ready up. We're rolling with 16. I got booted out of the session at one point, so I'm done with 2020 game.
Oh yeah.
After last night, I'm just like, I give up. This is crap. I'm irritated. I don't want to do it anymore. So
Can't blame you there.
I have another league that's still running 2 more weeks of 2020.
Really?
Nope, I'm out.
Alright, let's get this going.
Alrighty. I got mine's live right now also.
You got yours going? Alright.
Yep.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the final round of the Midwest F1 League Season 3 here at the Marina Bay Circuit in Singapore. 23 corners make up this fall. Left and 9 to the right. 2 DRS zones here make for the best opportunities for overtaking with the average top speed of just over 107 miles per hour, which is one of the slowest on the schedule. Virtual Pirelli have gone a step softer from last week at Paul Ricard with the C5 soft, C4 mediums, and C3 hards. So welcome everyone, I'm Hotspot, and this week, much like how we started the season, I'm being joined in the booth by the Monkey Mafia on account of something allowed him from racing. So welcome, Monkey. Glad to have you here. It's an interesting situation for you, though, because your Williams counterparts have quite the task ahead of them for tonight, but I think, it could come out okay. And I'm excited to see how this turns out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Neither one of the Williams full-time drivers are in tonight, so a couple of reserves in there. Hopefully they can get some points and keep it within a race at least.
Yeah, so, a couple key battles going on tonight. For the Drivers' Championship, we got Will Enns in the lead at 313. Uncle Ben's Rice 30 points behind at 283. Now, essentially, for Will Enns, assuming that we were going to would have just needed to finish 17th or higher to win the championship. Ben's Rice would have needed to win the race and have Will Enns finish 18th or lower to win the championship. Get hand for Will Enns tonight is finishing the race, and I tell you what, Will Enns, I think, has yet to record a DNF in Division 2 so far this season. I'm going to knock on wood right quick, and it will be proper upset with me if I jinx him here. As he told me before the race, this is one of the most nervous he has been going into a race weekend in a long time. And I tell you what, Will Enns, for being as dominant of a driver that he sometimes can be, he's definitely showing his human side here. See Nero Nix out of the garage first. So, Monkey, I don't know how much prep you ended up getting to do for this circuit, but, what are the key things that you think are going to be really, really important going into this race event?
I think just keeping the wheels on the thing. Every Singapore race I've done comes down to who finishes. A lot of times there's at least 5 or 6 DNFs, and so if you just finish your gain in points big time there. Other than that, it's just consistent. That's the biggest thing. That's what I always liked about Singapore, is it's got a good flow to it. Keep going, and this is actually a track I really enjoy, so that just keeps my consistent streak this year of missing the good tracks.
And I tell you what, and I'm sure the Williams team would love to have you in the car tonight, but they have 2 very capable drivers on tap tonight to potentially get this Constructors' Championship battle. And let's actually go to that right now, as Alpha Tauri in the lead with 443. Renault only 6 points behind at 437. And then Williams in third. Now, they have a little bit more work to do at 420 points. And I've calculated this out. Correct me if I'm wrong. Williams need at least one driver to finish 6th or higher to kind of stay, I don't want to say stay in it, however, to be in the position to win this, and then it's just going to come down to how everybody else does. So definitely not out the window yet for the Williams team. They definitely have a lot of work to do tonight, as we see Miru Nix, the first one on the track on a timed lap here as he makes his way into Sector 2. So it's been a very fun season for you so far, Monkey, having one of the, I would say honestly, one of the most consistent. I don't think you've registered DNF the whole season.
No
Position
DNF.
Of what, P7? It's incredible.
Yeah, I've averaged 5, 6, and 7 all season, and then what was it? France. Last week at France, I had a little contact. I mean, it was just a racing deal, nothing out of the ordinary, just racing hard. Got a little contact, slid out, and then no safety car. I had never caught back up. I mean, I even ran the fast lap at the end, and then somebody took it from me, but I was still quick at the end. I was so far behind at that point, you could never catch up. That was my only bad finish of the year, but I still finished, and I ended up 18th. But other than that, it was all 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, exactly. And last week at France was kind of an oddball race for a lot of drivers as well, as you had Will Anson, Murph, and Selly get into it a couple times, and, you know, a lot of drivers not doing as well as they would have hoped. And last week was actually a really, really crucial race for the championship standings. I believe the gap between first and second constructors was down to at least 4 points, as this week it's only... So, interesting stuff there. But as you said before, so the Williams team, an interesting situation as they are still in position for the Constructors' Championship. However, both of the full-time drivers are out tonight. You, Monkey Mafia, being one of them, and the second being Saffron City. You guys are being replaced by... here, JST and Grumpy Old Catman. Now, JST we've had a little glimpse of already. There's no doubt that he can pull out a very solid performance. Grumpy Old Catman, still very new to this league, I think. Still has a lot left to prove, so it'll be interesting to see there. And then also another double driver swap as Evil Prime and Smith 630 take over the late edition as Cruster T is piling the McLaren. Well, it should have been. It's not. Let's see him here. Interesting. Anyways, it should have been taken over the McLaren seat. It's apparently not.
Yeah, we definitely had some no-shows tonight. Kind of expected with the end of the season and not having, or the new game coming out. A lot of people are just do not want to go back. I know one of our reserves, he had deleted 2020 already, so he wasn't able to make it.
Interesting.
All the other leagues have pretty much switched over. We just had 1 week left. We didn't want to switch. You know,
and I tell you what, we good run on 20, haven't we? And I tell you what, it's really. I mean, if it wasn't for F1 2020, we wouldn't even be here. And I tell you what, it's been time as well, as we've been able to grow a lot in this year that we've had this game. Despite all sometimes this game's flaws and very fun game. Into 21 game actually. So
definitely, I've done quite a bit on the. Not a lot, but I've done enough on the on 21 that I think it's gonna be interesting to see how the pace of everybody is, because the handling is quite a bit different. Some people think it's worse. I actually like it better because it's a little less control of the car. You know, it's a little more skatey, but in a good way. And that's kind of what I like about it. I think I might benefit a little bit off of it. There's going to be some drivers who we're going to see who are going to have a decline for a while until they get it. Big thing is no fuel mixture. You're set. What you have is what you have. You can go to lean mode in safety cars. Other than that, you can't change it, which I think is kind of interesting.
Really?
Your ERS is going to be so much more important.
Just simply that. Wasn't that weird, to be honest? I honestly, of all things they changed, I didn't expect that to be one of them. But like, we have a lot here. Interesting to see from a strategic point of view, which tires we will get into later on once we're under our formation lap. But as you can see so far, Uncle Ben's Rice and Nero Nix, the two Renault drivers, taking 1 and 2 so far with still 10 minutes and 30 seconds left in the qualifying session. Capitano at the moment has out of Will N. And I tell you what, Will is definitely, I think see that because Capitano is in need of good results, and so is that AlphaTauri team in general. They definitely need a good day today to make all of this come to fruition. Because I tell you what, very good season, of some of the other teams, but I tell you what, it's been pretty good, solid, and I'm sure they'd love to cap it off tonight with the championship win.
Yeah, definitely. It was a battle there for a while, and then Sefron and I in France just lost a ton of points to those guys, and it kind of became a tough one for Williams. I'm glad to see it, though. I think the most interesting thing about this season is we have 4 divisions, and all 4 divisions have a point battle somewhere. That's just crazy. Constructors are all pretty close. The relegation promotions are insanely close. I can't believe I think it's Division 3 has 6 people within range of the promotion tonight.
Really? That ought to be fun to look forward to. Obviously, as if you haven't heard already, transferring down to Division 3 next season. I'd say transferring down to Division 3. I think what's going to happen is all the casters are going to rotate around, do a couple different divisions. So you'll get to see me on Crash down in Division 3, which is an odd sight to say the least. But, I think that'll bring a lot more growth to the league. As you can see, all but the top 5 have gone on the medium compound, aside from obviously Detail and Brumfield Catman, which I believe have just gone set of C5s, and that is J. Steve, who's retired from the session nearly 3 now. That is quite the gap that he has, and I don't know if he hasn't gone into the tires, so that is something I didn't see coming for sure. Obviously, still got a lot of time left in the session to make a difference.
Definitely. I think for him, I think he's really just looking to get a good flow. I don't think he cares about starting up front in this one. He's a D3. He's our D3 Williams guy. So I mean, he's been in a good fight down there also. It'd be interesting to see what he can do here. You were talking about Grumpy Old Catman. He's actually reserved now. I want to say it's 7 weeks straight. He's done D2, D3, and D4. He's kind of a versatile. He was actually on the docket if I needed him for D1 tonight. Thing I like about him, he doesn't care. He'll race anywhere. You tell him where to go, he's there. So he'll be joining the ranks full time next season as one of our new drivers. So along with Evil Prime up there in 8th, he'll also be one of our new drivers next season. Let's see, SZ Smith is another one who will be joining us next season as a full-time driver. So we were really trying to get those reserves in there tonight and get them some seat time and see what they can do, so we can get them as close to properly placed as we can for the division. Try to keep everything even now.
And I tell you what, though, it's really good to see all these reserves come in, because you almost have a different crop of drivers every week. And if it wasn't for these drivers coming in and reserving, there were some of these drivers that, wouldn't even have in this league. Pretty sure Tail was one of those drivers as well. Detail, a couple things about him this week. Currently P5. He's also just let me know that we have rain in the forecast towards the end of the race. That's going to get interesting to watch there. I'm not sure how far towards the end he's gone for there. Detail also this week, he came to me after last week saying he wants to do a helmets homage to me, and apparently he's gone and replicated the can of Arizona of choice for usually for broadcasts. It's usually what I have on tap, so shout out to Detail for that. I'd say what he's almost nailed it. But yeah, so we're going to get into tires a little bit later on. So we have, obviously, the tires are going to be a big factor here, and I'm going to be honest, I'm a little concerned for some of these drivers that have gone and fit the medium compound, as that's definitely going to throw a wrench into the plan, as I think, honestly, starting on softs might be the better options just for strategy's sake, but we can get into the specifics a little later on. As we see, Will Ants has taken provisional pole by almost 2/100ths of a second over Forza Juve. Now, Juve has gone and fit a fresh set of soft compound tires and is on an outlap currently, so we'll have to see what he is capable of. But at the moment, it almost appears that the tires are very even. on pace. Maybe it's just, some of these drivers fighting more out of the medium compound. But I tell you what, it doesn't look like the difference between the soft and medium compound is all that much. So that's going to be interesting to play out for during the race for sure.
Yeah, to me, the softs are really one I don't use a lot at Singapore. Pace-wise, between the mediums and softs, I feel like they're close enough that the length of the medium tire is going to last better. It's gonna keep you better as a race time overall. So I've enjoyed running the medium. Medium hard's usually what I do here.
See Forza Juve on his timed lap. He's gone purple in Sector 1, actually, as he makes his way down into, what turn is this? This is turn 10, 11. It's just before the bridge here now. The thing with the bridge is you really can't get too jumpy on either left or right side of it, as the braking zone is really right directly after the bridge, and that's not exactly the best place to do anything ridiculous there. But Forza Juve seems to be on a flying lap. Purple in Sector 2 as well.
I got my live stream going, and whoever's watching it's probably really bored because I keep forgetting to flip through cars. We're just sitting here chatting, and I'm just watching random cars. Good thing you put out a way better version later.
I mean, listen, it's a the result when it comes out, but here comes Forza Juve to the line, and he's actually going to go provisional pole by 0.6 of a second over Will Ans. Now, it looks like a Renault sandwich right now, as we got the Will Ans in P2, Capitano P5, and then we got Benz Rice and Nero-Dix in the middle, P3 and 4. Remember, all Renault needs to do is score 6 points more. Renault actually just needs to find 7 points to be in the lead for constructors, and it's really just going to come down to who can keep the race the cleanest, who can be the most consistent. I tell you what, this is the closest constructor championship battle we've had so far in the history of Div 2, unless I'm forgetting something from Season 1 when I wasn't here. But yeah, this has been an absolutely great season so far. And, who's this? That happens to be the Renault. No, not Renault. That's the Ferrari of Adeltonian. No.
It looks like S.C. Smith. He pulled in to let somebody by, and he's trying to get turned around. That's one of the hardest spots, too.
Done a Rakovir off of the little soccer field they have there in the middle of the ocean, which I think is probably the coolest part of this track, honestly. If you've ever seen the overhead view, they've got a soccer field that is on a dock out in the middle of the ocean, which is really cool. But he's actually found his way out there and wedged himself in between. JC, as we can see now, falling down the order. He was at P8 when he retired. D. Smith has gone and...
Yeah, I'll send him an invite.
Well, that's interesting there, and it doesn't look like a time lap either. I say span around at that point as well, but we know from what height the Haytite. Well, we know from what Haytite went through at Brazil, if you do leave the session midway through quali and then come back, doesn't matter where you qualify, you will be starting at the back of the grid. So unfortunately there for Z Smith, as I haven't seen too much of him, and I still think he's fairly new to this league, but it'll be fun to see him put together a performance as Forza Juve has retaken the top to come out and fit a new set of softs. So it seems like a lot of these drivers that started on the medium compound thought that was going to be okay, is now transitioning to the soft compound. So they're using every set of tires they possibly can, which is going to throw tire strategy completely out the window. All of my notes here, the whole half a page of notes that I had, out the window, gone. But, I tell you what, this is going to be an absolutely fun race to see. As we see Detail now jumping up into pretty goodness from him. I saw something coming off the back of his car going down the straight. I'm not really sure what that was. It looks like he had a puncture. Now, is Uncle Ben's Rice going to do the same thing we France, where he's going to take every single corner exceeding track limits and hopefully get back to the line? And as I say that, he goes and knocks his left end plate off the side of the car. As we saw last week at home, he's had about 30 seconds to go before the timer stopped. and he was over in Sector 2 at turns 8 and 9, a little chicane on the backstretch, and he cut every corner he possibly could to try to get back to the line. It was about 10 seconds short, but as we can see, he's trying to do that on smack to the wall as Adaltonian goes and retires from session. Now, the next person coming to the line looks to be the Alpha Tauri of Will Ans. Now, he's got 6 going to make it. This one's going to be close. Oh, and I think he's just about a second shy of being able to come to the line and make another attempt at a time to lap. So Forza Juve on provisional pole. Detail doesn't look like he's making an attempt at another time to lap. Ray 46 is on fresh softs. No.
He's on fresh softs, but he's only 100. He's only 100 faster right now. Ray is. And then I believe Hightower is on one. Hightower's 8/10 up on his. The
Hightower has an interesting race here, as well, pretty much just needs to finish the race for next season, as him and Humble Hippo are in the battle for the final to avoid relegation spot, shall we say. And Humble Hippo not with us tonight, as I'm sure that would have been an amazing battle to watch. But the top 3, as it stands, Forza Juve in the Mercedes. Another great showing from them, something I believe is the best quality result of the season for Mercedes. Right up there with him, Will Hansen second, and then Fusale in the Haas, who's been on a tear recently as well, coming in third. And then we have Detail fourth, Ben's right in fifth. Actually, the Renault with a third row lockout, 5th and 6th for them. Capitano back in 7th, so it's going to have a little bit of work to do for him. Puff Digital in 8th, Ray 46th, 9th, 10th, Hightower, 11th, Soy Loco, 12th, Adaltonian, 13th, Evil Prime, 14th, Grumpy Old Catman, 15th is JSD, and then rounding out the field in 16th is Z Smith, 630, and that is going to be your qualifying results for the Singapore Grand Prix.
Hey, anybody that's watching the live stream, I just want to make sure you guys can hear it. Anybody want to comment and let me know?
Now we start the mandatory countdown timer.
Oh, and I'm not there to relegate that. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This is honestly the weekend sometimes is just the anticipation. Who's going to be the one day? Sometimes. Weird. I mean, we only have 16 drivers in the field. Not to hit X, but we always get those 1 or 2 drivers that do that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, and looks like Evil Prime has done just that, as he's hit the X button less than 30 seconds in. So while we have a moment now, this edition of the Midwest F1 League is brought to you by Raise Energy. Raise Energy is becoming one of the fastest growing brands in the United States right now, and it's all because of their top of the line flavors and precise formulas that ensure you're getting. And with no dyes, fillers, or other unnecessary junk, Raise Energy will get the job done. A smooth energy drink with no crash afterwards. What more could you want? Visit repsports.com and use promo code MWF1 at checkout for 15% off your order. Click the link in the description to begin your supply of Raise Energy as we start our formation lap here. Also, be sure to check out the Slipstream podcast on Spotify with what's this Forza Juve? It's just spun it round out of turn 2 on the formation lap in the middle of the Spotify plug. That I did not see coming.
If I remember right, he did that last week too.
Did he?
Yep, I believe so.
Oh, goodness me. So we're already an interesting one. Go be sure to check out the Slipstream podcast. Adaltonian and Tlingy12 do an excellent job of doing that sort of thing. But I want to talk about tires. So we've got an interesting one for this race. It's going to be crucial that you get them A one-stop race, which has been the trend so far this season, is certainly possible with softs being able to last between 7 and 9 laps. If an early safety car happens, you might even see a few takers for the hard compound around lap 4. Now, 27 laps on the hards is no joke, but it can be done. Otherwise, you're going to be looking at a two-stopper, which could find you pit around lap 8 for the hard compounds, and then, if it's a two-stopper, you'll be boxing for the mediums on lap 23 for, You'll be boxing on lap 8 for the mediums, and then potentially again on lap 23 if you have another set of softs available. Now, fitting at the mediums at all will require this race to be a two-stopper outside, well, I say outside the top 10. It looks like everybody's going to fit the medium compound, but, if you want to go from mediums to hards, it's probably not going to be the fastest option, although it is one. But as we see, the field make their way around the Marina Bay Circuit. This one's going to be fun, I just know it. We're looking at an absolute banger here tonight. Monkey Mafia, do you have any predictions for this race?
Fuzzlem has been, or Fusale, or I just call him Fuzz. How about that? He's been on a roll. He's been fast lately. I want to say he's going to take it. I think it comes down to him and Will. The thing that's interesting is Detail and Soy Loco fighting for that promotion spot, and Detail has a huge start on him. But Soy is starting on the hards there in 11th, so strategy is going to be key to those two.
Yeah, as you can see, Soy Loco has started on the hard compound tire. Now, that's going to be an interesting one that we've seen drivers take so far this season, particularly last week at Paul Ricard. That was actually a very valid strategy for them to take. And, let's see who's actually going to give me a camera angle with lights here. Oh, it's going to be an onboard. Okay, great. Well, the lights are coming on here for the final round of Division 2. We got... Wait for it. It's lights out, and away we go here. It's absolutely amazing. And it's kind of just treads along there. Fusale, now he wants to look to the right-hand side, but falls back in line. Uncle Ben's right, still right in racing point of Detail. He's made it through the first couple of turns cleanly there. However, Capitano looking around the right-hand side of Nero Nix going down the DR. Wants to file in as well, and that is the Mercedes of Hightower that's gone up there. And I tell you what, I bet you he is absolutely thankful that he's not gone and DNF'd there. As for now, his promotion is going on here in the midfield as Capitano drops down to P9 as they head into Sector 2, and he's going to get shoved to the right side of the circuit by Soy Loco. And yeah, I tell you what, Capitano is losing spots left and right now. Here comes Eagle Prime around to his left-hand side, and he's going to lose another one. This has not been the start of dreams for El Cap. And is sitting pretty comfortably up in P2, but definitely not the start to the race of that the AlphaTauri team wanted, as he's going to lose another spot here to Adaltonian potentially.
I got nothing, man. You're a pro at this.
All right, so Capitano, he's got Adaltonian still behind him now. Adaltonian on his left-hand side. No, I guess not, but I thought it was for a second there, but at the moment, it seems that everybody's making their way through Sector 3 cleanly. It looks like Eagle Prime might be putting the work on a little bit, although I will say Eagle Prime, it definitely looks to be struggling with his car. He looks to be having oversteer every corner I've seen him come out of so far. But so far, it's been smooth sailing. Now, unfortunately, Monkey Mafia, your two Williams drivers, have been shuffled back to P13 and 14. Definitely not what they need. It's still a lot of race left to go, but remember, at least one of them is going to have to finish P6. Oh, and Hightower's going to bend it trying to come into the pits. What is this?
SZ's in the pits also.
And so he's going to fit the medium tire. Now that's going to throw his strategy out the window completely. Hightower, thankfully, pitting and not retiring from the session, as I'm sure that is the last thing he wants to do today. But looks like Uncle... I tell you what, going into this race, Will Ans, especially last night in F2 when we raced at Abu Dhabi, Will Ans was telling me he's feeling confident, but he's very nervous that Uncle Ben's race can get the... has been absolutely strapped with pace these past couple weekends, and I tell you, to be on a absolutely great race so far. He's got Fusail in his sights very short. Exciting already. I love this. Division 2. Nothing like it. Everything he can. Now, this is going to be the tricky part. There's no real amazing opportunities for overtaking until we get the DRS, which should... But until then, all is going to be quiet for now. Although, Tano seems to be in an interesting position as... Capitano, he's got Eagle Prime and Soy Loco in his sights. Now, Eagle Prime, tell you what, definitely looks like he's been struggling with his car, but he's going to try to get this position on Soy Loco very short. Land's made a pass with the lead. Look at DRS.
Uncle Ben's out of the back of Fuzz here. Uncle Ben's just fighting for everything he's got here, but he needs Will to have some bad luck in order to have it. But Constructor's still on the line, especially with Al Capitano dropping way down. Looks like Renault might take that.
I think at this point in time, now I'm going to try at some point, about halfway through this race, to potentially get some mid-race updates. Forza Juve has gone and lagged through the wall going into that corner, as you saw on my POV. At least he was well walked, not there. And I think honestly, I think Ben's race might just need to be a little bit more aggressive right now. He's playing very, very carefully against the gearbox of Fusail. Now, I mean, he's got a lot of time to be aggressive, although right now is going to be his best opportunity, as we've kept it very clean so far. Soy Loco, now he's picked up key positions for the promotion battle, as you were saying earlier. That might hurt him a lot.
It definitely could. You know, Singapore is not one you get a lot of penalties on, so could be interesting when it comes down to the end to see who's got penalties, who doesn't.
Absolutely, and as we see here, Ben's race, the right hand going around the outside of Forza Juve through the DRS section. So Uncle Ben's race doing his best he can. Forza Juve now. Juve also picked up that 3 seconds, and I tell you what, he's going to have a lot harder time on the strategy. Top 3 might honestly just play compete with each other. So it doesn't have any room to give right now, as you see Adolf battle here, or maybe Capitano kind of just fell off for a second there as I saw his position arrow go downwards, but now he's under pressure from the JC. Now Capitano going into this race, I don't want to say was the Commetary team, but Will Ans was telling me before the race, he says, look, I got to give this man a pep talk. He's not been feeling confident lately. We got to get him a result. And I tell you what, he's still got a lot of work to do here.
Definitely. He's a pacey guy, but man, D2's gotten fast, and sometimes that pressure just makes people overdrive, and I think that's really been the big thing for him, is he's really over pushing the car and not relying on what he knows how to do. I mean, the guy's fast. I mean, he could compete in D1 with some of those guys, and I think he's just lost his concentration.
Now that could potentially be the case. And lost a front wing, and they're going to go ahead and slap a new one into place and also fit the medium comp. There's a Juve one to see as he now drops back to P13 as Capitano. He's coming in as well, as I saw on my broadcast angle. At least he was missing the end plates on the right-hand side, and yeah, he's going to go ahead and mysteriously slide another front wing into place where the old one still is on my screen, at least. I don't know if it does that for you or not. They definitely don't take you. Go straight through it, but here comes Ben's race. Is he going to look to the inside for now? Although I will say it does look like Fusail maybe having a little trouble under braking. Maybe didn't get the brake right now is he's having a lockup pretty much going into every turn. Now, I was asking Will Ants about this not too long ago, as and getting into no assist, was asking, I see Will Ants locking up into a lot of these corners, and apparently it doesn't have tire wear whatsoever, these lockups, which kind of surprises me a little bit. Yeah, I haven't seen you lock. That's what Will Ants told me.
Yeah, the lockups. I run ABS, so I don't know about it. But from what I've seen, I don't think it really hurts it too much as long as it's not a big, long lockup. But those quick ones into the corners, I think those guys are running so fast, I don't even think the tires notice.
This has been a very...
I can't run the ABS off.
I feel. See, who's that? Is that Hightower that's gone off again? His front wing, and apparently we're migrating hosts. It looks like we from the lobby, sir.
No, I'm here. But okay, I got booted earlier, remember? And it gave it to somebody else.
What's happened here? What's this? We've almost got we've got a little thing. What is this mark exactly? It's like on the mini map. We've got like some blue dots. What is that? I don't know. I've never seen that before. But safety car here. Now, as I said before, we could see some drivers box and go to the end on the hard compound tires, and that was assuming they, even as much as 4 laps into the race, they'd be able to make the hards last the whole way. So how many drivers do you think are going to be taking that opportunity here?
I'll call that will be one of them. I don't think Uncle Ben's will. I don't think he's on the medium, so I really don't think he's going to come in and grab those. Especially he's not a big hard user. He'd rather 2-stop. So I think Will does. I'm not sure about Fuzz. Detail probably will. I think you'll probably see 50% of the field do it.
Well, as the field Sector 3 now, I don't know if it's just my screen or not, but Puff Digital already has a yellow fuel indicator. How you could lose fuel this early into the race. I mean, this is an F2. Definitely shouldn't be any fuel worrying here. But no, that's going to be interesting to see next season.
If he's been running it rich and has it down to where it's at 0 or right under, it will pop up. But then he just has to run in lean for a long time to get it back. Under the safety car, he should be back to normal, I would imagine. It looks like it was about right, about half the field.
Yeah, as you said, though, a lot of drivers coming in. However, I will say most of them fitting the medium compound, Will Ants being one of them. That surprises me just a little bit, as we have drivers like Fusil has come in from the hard. Nick's Ray 46, the rest of the field from Capitana down have all gone and fit new medium tires. That surprises me a little more than I thought it would. Honestly, I thought everybody would be taking the hard.
Yeah, it looks like half of who pit.
Have done that.
Yeah, it looks like half of the guys that pit there did hard, half did medium. Close to. It'd be interesting to see. Like I said, a strategy is going to come into this thing, but I think those guys that have hards now, as long as there's not another safety car, they could be set up pretty well.
And I tell you what, now, Uncle Ben's Rice, off the safety cars, has a very good track record. I think, honestly, from what I've seen so far this season, anytime there's been an early safety car like this, and Uncle Ben's Rice has been out front, he's pretty race now. He is on the medium compound, 6-lap old, so we started on those tires. He's going to have to box, probably around between laps 14 and 16. At the most, he'll go to lap 17, though with the safety car, he might be able to expand that a little bit more than normal. So we'll call it lap 18 to be safe. So most of these drivers that stayed out, that being Uncle Ben's Rice, Adel Tonian, and Grumpy with Catman, are going to have to box sometime within the next 10 laps. Now, Soy Loco has gone the interesting route here. He started on the hard compound. Realistically, he could to go and put on these softs, if he has any left, at the end of the way, and that might be what he's looking for here. Now, he's not going to have to box for some time, but that's an interesting strategy to look out for. Not exactly what the doctor ordered there, as he picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. I'm not sure how he's managed to pull that off, as the whole field is going to go behind the safety car. Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, but him and JST are just coming up on the back of the field, and he probably just got in too much of a hurry. And like you say, I mean, it's very unlikely that that safety car is going to take off without you. If you ever watched me under safety car, if I'm behind, I'll push, but I won't push too hard. I don't want to tear my tires up. The safety car is going to wait, it's not going to come in until the lap's over.
Yeah, exactly.
But some of these people want to race and get there at the beginning of the lap, and it's like, well, guess what? It's still going to go around that lap slow.
I mean, I'm not even sure what, but like, obviously you got Z. Who's this at the back? This is Z Smith. It is getting back to the line in tires, so they're going to come out. 17 laps, 18 laps the most on the medium, so what, lap 26? You looking at? I get that wrong. It's field math. It's not the point. The media and stuff like that, I have to be good at stats, and that is sports that go. Anyway, I got a little bit of work to do in that department, but safety car most likely, I want to say in this lap is coming on second. Not sure, but Adel Tony in a good spot. Will Ans in a great spot considering he's got the freshest tires. Obviously, being as he is, also this is going to be an interesting one to see. This start in particular, this is going to be fun to watch. Oh, that tough digital seconds for colliding with detail. That's not what it is.
No, definitely not. And that hurts detail too.
And it looks like I must have missed the message on my screen. Either that or Vern Malin was about to go front of the lap, and they were like, Michael Massey goes, "No, you can come in now." But
no,
here we go.
It popped up on mine.
Back to green flag racing here, and it looks like, as I predicted, Ben's Rice got out to a great start here. Now, I think, is this Hightower in the middle of the field? Kind of in between P4 and P3 there, held up a lot of the field as Will Ans trying to get around grumpy old Catman. He's going to resort to the left-hand side. Is he going to get it? And yeah, he's going to do that one cleanly. Nicely done there, but it looks like we do have someone off. That might just be Hightower. Yeah, well, it's one of the Mercedes. They're off back there, coming out of, what turn is that? Turn 5. But as we see here, Ben's Race got out to a great start, but he's not out of trouble yet, as Soy Loco still 0.7 of a second behind. Not to mention Adel Tony in on this as well.
Yeah, Adel Tony's really picked up his pace lately. I mean, he was already fairly pacey before, but it seemed like when I've been around him lately, I've been really having to fight to keep up with him. It's good to see him running up there.
And I tell you what, when he's on his game and when he's got his confidence, there was a lot of situations this season where Adel Tony maybe had an incident in qualifying or something, and kind of, I don't want to say cracked under pressure, but the most recent example of that is Brazil towards the end of the season here, had the incident. And, well, if you're close to Midwest F1, you can see that JC Blackley is already going off in the chat about something to do with this next season, so good for him. Nicely done. Congrats on that. Big achievement. As Will Ans going to be, as both him and Uncle Ben's has been, what's the word I'm looking for? They've been promoted, that's the word, into Division 1 next season, so Division 1 And Monkey, you spent some time in Division 1 with a lot of the drivers that are currently leading that division. I mean, how do you think these two drivers are going to fit in? Oh, we got a big pile-up, though, do we? Yeah, Fusail's. And now he's going backwards. Right then. Anyways, he almost took the whole... There's front wings everywhere.
I'm surprised... Very surprised not even a VSC there. Much carnage as there was.
Capitano has decided to come in the pits. So wow, so this is pretty close here. So Ben's Rice in first place currently, Will Hands in third, Niru in 14th, Capitano in 15th. So not math there. I say Renault is maybe 3 points behind at this. Actually, I'm not too sure about that. I'm just making a guesstimate. They are very close at this stage of the race, and I'm sure that's only going to get closer. But as I was going to ask before that happens, Ben's Rice and Will Lance, how do you think we fit into Diff 1 next season?
You know, I think Uncle Ben did some racing with Jacko in another league I was in, and he wasn't beating him, but he was right there. So I think he can keep up in D1. And Will, I've seen him in another league also. And he's in one of the upper divisions, and he keeps up. I think they'll be all right. You know, much like the D2 guys that transferred out last season and this season, they've all been pacey. It's made D1 interesting now too, and I think these two just make it even more interesting.
Absolutely, and I mean, we said going into this season that this was going to be a very closely contested season. Our prediction of a new winner every week did not come true, unfortunately, as that would have been the best thing that's ever happened to mankind. However, still, as we are almost halfway through this race, as Puff Digital 5 seconds for crossing the pit lane exits.
That's not a common one.
No, not really. Yes, I think honestly, maybe some other tracks. Abu Dhabi were kind of in the middle of the corner, and France. When I actually picked up the penalty in the F2 race, doing that same thing as the pit exit goes right into the braking zone. Very, very tough here. But Singapore, I mean, it's pretty clearly now. It's from. I don't see that penalty too often, but he's got one here, and. That's about the end of that story, as we see who's this coming in. Capitano's decided to come in again. I'm not sure what's going on with Capitano. He's only boxed... This will be, what, his third time?
Yep.
Second?
Third, I think.
Plus two. Yeah.
I think that one. I think the third one will pop up as he pulls out.
And so Capitano now plenty off the pace here as Ray 46. Ray 46, by the way, P5 currently. What a result this would be for him as, Ray 46 and that Red Bull team in general did not have the season that they were looking for as, coming off a great season last season. And McLaren in that respect as well. Just those two teams just did not have the results of the season that they wanted. But, it would be a good way to end it off in style. Ray 46 being one of those drivers who... very pacey driver, but another one that's confidence may have taken a hit this season. But I tell you what, he's in a very good spot right now.
Place one for the racing points for the P3 in DC.
Apparently, Z. Smith is a lap down in the middle. How is this? Anyways. So we look on 3 for multiple warnings. That puts him up 6 seconds of penalties now. Oh my god, man. Okay, so Field first, and we would probably like here, although it looks like maybe some racing coming up soon. JST and Z. Smith may here as JST doesn't look to be that far off. Although it says on my screen that Z. Smith is a lap down, but just says one lap down.
Yeah.
One lap, so it is.
Yeah, it's been. I feel like the servers for this game have just gone downhill since the new one came out. I think everything just seems all messed up. I've done, what, 3 races, I think, since. And each one's had some type of issue. Whether it be me or scoring or anything like that, so. See, now on mine, SC just dropped to 15th.
Now, so something interesting has happened here. Has Will Ends and Uncle Ben's Rice potentially gotten into each other? Because as I notice here, Uncle Ben's Rice is missing the end plate on his right hand side. Gives me a good angle of Will Ends, and Will Ends doesn't have any damage. I did notice a yellow flag through that sector at the time. I thought at first it was the 2 racing points, which, by the way, this would be a great result for the racing points in 3 and 4. That would be pretty solid. But Uncle Ben's Rice, yeah, he's missing half his front wing right now. Can't say I expected that, but Will Ends out to the lead here by 2.5 seconds nearly, and we're just about halfway through this race. And I'll tell you what, Will Ends right now has to be buzzing over this race, but at the same time, he can't let his mind slip whatsoever. The second he does, this race could change in an instant, as we see Uncle Ben's Rice pitting this lap. So, and it looks like, yep, this crew is going to get the front wing ready here. So, unfortunate there for Uncle Ben's Rice, and that might close the gap to the AlphaTauri team just a little bit more. Rather, AlphaTauri maybe extend it a little bit, as Uncle Ben's going to drop down to what looks to be P7, P8.
Yeah, this scoring it's really messed up.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope, if there's one thing I hope going into this new game is that they have all this fixed, because, yeah, this is
yeah, that's the one.
Every week this is as well.
I mean, that breaking point, it's cool, but it's short. You only do 2 seasons, and that's it.
Really?
Yeah. As much as they built it up, I wish they would have spent the time to work on the multiplayer. Because that's where it's at. I mean, that's what a lot of people do, so.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I mean, I was looking at breaking. This is a really good idea, but if they don't do it, what's this? We have
Evil Prime. Yep, Evil Prime out. I don't know what happened, but.
I think, did he potentially get into the Haas of Fusale? He's a little bit farther back, so maybe that's what happened there. Fusale, as you remember, had that incident at the beginning of the race, where he kind of just spun around, and I think that same corner as well, either that or turn 7. Kind of blocked up half the grid, but yeah, so Evil Prime's definitely going to have to probably box him from that, the input on the left-hand side is missing. Now, I tell you what, it was a little interesting to me. Side. Do you think he's hurting for downforce that much to where boxing is probably like the best idea? Because honestly, I mean, what is that? Like the lime green wing? Like that shouldn't be broken that much.
Yeah, I think the problem is there's a couple corners that it really is. It does affect, and it was the right side in that last corner. Without the right side wing, you're bound to end up into that wall one of the laps. So, I mean, I can't go against what he did. I probably would have pit too on that one, but it's a tough one. And yeah, I don't know what he's going to end up doing here because that screwed up his strategy. I think he was going medium soft there.
Speaking of medium soft, should be seeing some of these guys on the medium tire potentially box within the next 8 laps or so. I know Soy Loco has about 10 before he needs to come in. And what's that that's gone off? Is that a run out? Is going off in second 2 or something's happened. That's a weird place for the caution flags to be when there's absolutely nobody in that area. But meanwhile, we have a battle for second place as Soy Loco dives down to the inside, tries to get past Detail. Suddenly, the race gets exciting, and Detail almost gets the position, but then ends up. And that will be the end of that. And as we are midway through the race, I'm going to go ahead, Monkey, if you do the honor, pulling them for just about 5 seconds here as I try to calculate what's going on here with the points battle. We're trying to
the mathematician.
Yeah, the mathematician that failed 2 out of 4 years. Let's get into constructors. So at the beginning of the race, AlphaTauri is at 443. If this does stand here, as we see the point structure first, and then it's going to be 44 points.
Got Soy just still hunting Detail here, heading into the DRS zone. Just staying in the DRS. Well, and I was on the wrong corner. I'm in the wrong part of the track even, calling that one.
Oh.
They're not heading to DRS, but he's just outside it now. JST with a good position right now in P5, up 10 positions. He's the biggest mover so far. I think that'd be the driver of the day right there. He can keep that spot. And looks like Evil Prime pulled into the pits and retired. Having a rough day. Have a couple incidents. You know, live to fight another one, that's for sure. I don't know what Soy did to Detail, but he sure kicked him in the butt, and he's out.
Forza Juve has gone around. Ben's look up from my screen. I see Forza Juve on a terrible part of the track as well, nearly collecting Niru Nix and Uncle Ben's Rising. Yeah, he's missing half of his front wing there. Carry on, Monkey. Continue.
Well, I was just saying that Detail really kicked it up now and is up to 2.5 outside of, in front of Soy. Looks like he's really fighting. Detail's another one. I'd like him to get a podium. It'd be really good to see. I kind of call him my on-track rival. Him and I, we're in 2 leagues together, and it seems like every week we're racing each other. So, it'd be good to see him up on that podium. So, like you called out, Ray, P4 looking good. And then Nero and Uncle Ben's in the Renaults, 6 and 7. Our mathematician is working on that number now.
It's actually, yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. So I've just done the calculations right now. As it stands, Renault is still 4 points off first position in constructors, as AlphaTauri have cooked up a solid. Autonomous moved up. Probably 5 points off now, as Renault currently, AlphaTauri currently sit at 488. We call it as in this division. What is he at now? Is it 14? No, it's just 1. So yeah, 488, 483 is the gap. So 5 between Renault. Now, still a lot of race left to go here in Singapore. Still amount of time for something to happen. And I tell you what, I'm looking at Uncle Ben's race, who only 2 laps done after hitting his front wing coming in, and oh, here comes the rain. My goodness, that has just thrown an absolute wrench into this race. Oh,
love it.
Surely, as it seems to be raining just a little bit more than any of these drivers would like. And I tell you what, those that are on this hard compound tire are going to be driving on ice.
I jumped on board with Will here. Yeah, it's definitely raining. I'm going to say he's going to come in this lap even. It looks to be coming down quickly, and this track gets wet fast. I think we'll see. I think we're going to see this.
Yeah, not the news that Will Ans wanted to hear, although at the moment he's, you know.
I won't lie. Will is a hell of a rain driver, and I think it actually helps him. I think it comes out good to him.
Week, this man, this back and forth goes, oh, I want it to rain so bad. You know, honestly, I've never seen a driver more confident in the rain.
And then we had, this is only, I believe, the 2nd time we've seen rain this season for Division 2.
Really?
Yep. If I remember correctly, it's only the 2nd time.
Huh.
He did not come in He's going to be skating
No, he
by the
didn't.
halfway through this lap. He's skating.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I'm kind of intrigued to see that as well. As you can see, the race.
Neither
Don't
one.
think Soy Loco is going to come in as well. No. But we do have a car off. That's JC. Oh, he's gotten into Niru Nix. Niru Nix, a virtual all of the left side of his front wing missing, and that is not what either of the drivers needed. And I tell you what, I think Niru is going to get a free pass here with boxing, being able to put on the front wing, being able to fit the intermediates. This is going to be interesting, but I think potentially Niru could come out of this in a good spot.
Yeah, definitely might help him. And oh, and Uncle Ben's in too. So now it's a double stack. It could hurt him.
Oh man, was Uncle Ben serving a 5-second? Because he was in there for quite a little while, or maybe was he just waiting for the AlphaTauri to get out? So I know that's a thing where you have to kind of wait for the other teams to make their way out.
Yeah.
It's not him as DRS is enabled under the rain at Singapore. What more could you ask? As we see Uncle Ben's now tiptoe his way around out of pit exits. So yeah, a lot of drivers choosing to fit
Watching
the
Fuzz and Puff.
Uncle Ben's, I thought he went around there for a second. It's very close. Nero's fit the softs. That is not in his plans.
Oh no.
Oh, and that's not what he needed at all. There's going to yellow flag in Sector 1. That looked like it might be the Williams. I think that's JC. Something's happened to him. Grumpy old Catman's in an interesting position here. You'll see Smith saying his internet not doing best for him. As you can see, this is going to be an interesting one here. So a lot of these drivers, like Will Ans, like Detail, who's now just binned it going into the stadium section, has his Racing Point teammate very close behind. He's probably going to have to let him through here, as he's actually completely gone off in that section of the track. And I think these top three drivers definitely did not be given any favors by this rain coming through, as we're going to see Detail pit.
You gotta jump over to the Fuzz and Puff Digital. It has been, these two are going at it. I know these two are friends. They co-run a league together, and they are always talking crap to each other. And they've been side by side. Oh, and Fuzz overshot the corner.
Oh, man, that was close.
Yeah. But they were side by side for a good chunk of that lap in the rain on slicks. And it looks like they are both coming in. Yep, we're starting to see it now. Detail came in.
Now, has Soy just boxed and replaced a front wing that had no damage? Puff Digital, gone. What's happened to him? Is he just retired in the pits, or has he been in something? Well, he's in the pits.
Yep, retired.
Interesting. He was P7.
Dang, that was... And he had a good race going.
Yeah, I was about to say, that was an interesting choice there. Niru Nix, the soft tire, I'm sure he must. Ray 46's name has gone missing. There it is, back again. Ray 46 has rejoined the race. So this is going to be interesting as well, because the drivers has been used to, obviously, the dry conditions. We might see a lot more mistakes out of these guys. We might see potentially a safety car even. I mean, I don't doubt it. We could have something major happen here as the field switching over to the inches very shortly. Rain at Singapore, a common thing, despite this being what is described as the hottest race of the schedule in the F1, as temperatures always climb through the roofs in this race. As somebody that just hit the exit wall on the left-hand side. Interesting. Anyways. Niru Nix is going to come out and nearly take out Forza Juve in the process. Now, Niru Nix really almost just got into it. Now they're going to have to go around the robot of Z. Smith. The robot's got an X on his name. Niru Nix around the right-hand side there. Niru Nix within a second on Forza Juve, currently the closest battle in the field.
I'm not sure how, but Will is pit for inners, and so did Detail, and somehow Will is now 22 seconds ahead of him. I'm not exactly sure what happened there for that to grow that big.
Well, I'm not sure either. We saw, I think the Racing Points may have had a double stack, and I'm not going to lie, I think that AlphaTauri passed the Racing Point one. Maybe he had to wait to get out of the pits. I mean, that's certainly a possibility, as as we saw earlier with the Renault team, they kind of had to deal with that same sort of thing. So that might be something. Maybe he spun somewhere. It doesn't look to be missing it. Interesting point you bring up. He's 23 seconds. I find that ridiculous, to be honest. He's a whole sector ahead of him here. As suddenly my intervals have decided to stop working.
Same thing. It looks like the rain's staying steady with what it was. It's not coming down harder, not letting up. So I think, hoping we stay this way the rest of the race. I mean, makes it a little more interesting.
I mean, I wouldn't complain about seeing them have the box for the full wets. I mean, there is just under 10 laps to go, but that would be fun to watch indeed, as we see. I tell you what, Ray 46, still in P3. Very good race from him so far. He doesn't, I mean, Soy Loco is full straightaway behind him. So I don't think he's got anything to worry about for now, and as well as, and it looks like Soy Loco, I think, is struggling with his car just a little bit more than he'd like right now. It definitely looks like he's got oversteer coming out of nearly every corner I've seen, as Niru Nix trying his best to keep up with Juve, but it just doesn't seem to be the case. And oh, that's a racing point that's gone off there, and that's Soy Loco on exit. Where is that? It's turn 13 that's come out of. Not exactly what is needed there. Forza Juve. What's happening to him? Oh, he's off. He's well off somewhere. What's happening to Juve? Can we go on with C. Smith and watch? Oh, Juve's been down the inside of the track. Not what he needed.
So as it runs, Detail gets second. It looks like Soy has to finish at least 9th. Or no, at least 8th for a tie for the promotion spot. So that's still up in the air here. And Detail's having a great race.
Oh, Detail's having the race of his life right now, honestly. It's good to see Detail up in this portion of the track, as you know, we've seen a lot of instances where Detail has just been, unfortunately, gets all the bad luck thrown his way. That would be a good result for the Racing Point team, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure has been cursed for the past 2 seasons, but don't mind me on that, as usually it seems whenever they have a great starting position, they've somehow found bad luck here, and I'm really hoping.
Well, they can leave that luck behind now because it won't be Racing Point anymore.
That is true. It moves over to Aston Martin. It's so hard to keep up with. I mean, that team has changed names, every season? For the past, couple
Pretty
of years?
close, at least every other.
I think, yeah, I was going to say, I think 1920 was the only 2 years where they didn't have a name change. But, you know.
And Fuzz is caught up to Soy again.
Anyways, here's Fusing. Oh, man, and I tell you what, I think this rain is coming down a lot. Initially has been, as we see Soy Loco and Brazil.
Yeah, it definitely is.
These drivers look like they're just absolutely struggling right now. I mean, you can see, I think it's at the point where the rain starts collecting on the car, as you can see. With,
yeah,
the rain
on the in-car. Going to the in-car, you can tell it's raining harder now.
Do you think we'll see the boxes for... Do you think we'll see... Yeah, I was about to say, do you think we'll see them box for full wets? I mean, I'm not really sure if... At what point are you going to need to, is my question, because there's not a lot of time left in this race. I don't necessarily think you have to.
I think anything up until 3 to go, if it gets raining real hard and you're on inners, you can lose so much time if somebody else pits. I mean, I think it's viable all the way up to that point. I've had one where we swapped from wets to inners, and it was like 3 laps to go, and the person that was in second in pit for inners ended up winning over the guy that kept the wets. It's a huge difference in time if it's the right time. I think you're going to see a couple people go for it at some point. Maybe somebody who's got a decent sized gap.
I think the interesting thing here, yeah, we might see some drivers go for it, but as a go leader, everyone from about second to maybe 6th is that a good chance of swapping position around with depending on when they do decide to pit? I mean, they're all within a decent amount of time of each other. Obviously, Will Ans has a 35-second lead. That's right now to get away with it. Detail and Ray 46 obviously don't have that luxury. Oh, what's happening here? Who's gone?
Soy just smashed the wall. Just smashed the wall. He did a complete 360. I just caught it.
We have a virtual safety car. He's missing all of his front wing as well. 360 maneuver coming out of the corner. I don't doubt that at all. That's a corner where it's easily possible. And as you spin your tires just a little bit more, and you're absolutely gone in that section of the track. And I tell you what, Soy Loco need the box to replace the front wing. He has a chance though to put on the full wets, and he doesn't have all the time in the world. However, if you're going to box to put on the wets, you're going to get a chance at it.
He's got a 9 seconds in penalties too.
Oof.
So that's huge. It'd be interesting to see. I'm on with him now. I'm gonna see if he goes to the wets or back to inners. Could be interesting to see. But yeah, he caught that wall, and I'll give him credit. He did a pretty good little 360 to get busted back around and out. What I caught of it, it looked good.
That might be one for the replay center after the race, which surprisingly has been a very quiet department recently. As one incident earlier on, maybe I'll have to scavenge whatever known channels I do know of these drivers and maybe try to scoop together someone's replay. But I am focusing on Detail and Ray 46 right now, as both of these drivers look to be struggling. However, Ray 46 keeping it interesting. He's only 3 seconds behind as you see Grumpy the Catman choosing to box now. Williams 9th and 10th, so not a bad result from the Williams team, but that's not going to be enough, even close to enough to claim Constructors' title. However, I will say, I tell you what, despite that, it's been an okay season. 3rd place, I mean, definitely not what they probably wanted. However, 3rd place, nothing to be ashamed of there, not at all.
Oh,
so Ray 46 gets a lot of this year.
I missed enough races to not help that.
Didn't want to. It's not like you didn't want to race. You couldn't. I mean, that was interesting.
This whole season's been odd for this.
And I tell you what, having the new game come out in the middle of kind of a season. The season originally was supposed to go on what, 20 races? We cut it down to 12.
No, Midwest is always we do 16 is the standard. Usually our seasons are always 16, but once the release date came out, Pork made the decision to go 12 and end it right as the game was coming out, so that way we could move on.
But still, I mean, a 4-race shortened season is definitely going to be one to pack everything together. As we see Nero Nix, can he make a move on Adaltonian shortly? Now, Adaltonian might be missing an end plate on the side. Oh! Nero Nix gets into the back of Adaltonian, loses a bit of his front wing, and that's not a stop that Nero Nix is going to want to make. And I tell you what, yeah, he's missing the end plate on his left side by Adaltonian. Yeah, he's missing the entirety of his front wing on that right-hand side. And I tell you what, Nero Nix might be a little unhappy with it right now, as Adaltonian, I don't want to say taking up all the track, but the difference between having a front wing and not having a front wing, even if it is missing an end plate, is humongous with these cars. As Adaltonian, definitely a lot slower compared to Nero Nix right now. He's going to have to see these right here. Oh, oops, make contact. Yeah, somehow a catastrophe was avoided there. Fusale, by the way, has found his way back in the top 4. Oh, Detail! What's happened to Detail? Suddenly finds himself outside the top 3. I think he may have spun or something going through turns 11 and 12.
Looks like he got a little loose, lost the left end plate off of it. That is tough. That's going to be hinder that one. Oh, and a VSC for it.
And a virtual safety car.
Wow, that...
Fusale making his way back up into P3 after the spin he had earlier, taking nearly the whole field with him. And what's he on for penalty? He's only on 3 seconds.
I'm not going to say it because of Will, but I think that needed to be a safety car. I mean, come on, let's tighten this field back up. Have you watched that thing that Tony Stewart made, SRX?
Oh,
it's a racing series.
I haven't been able to watch it recently. I watched the first race.
So the joke was the fun
Will
flags.
coming in this lap.
The fun flags. Can we just get a fun flag? Let's tighten the field back up here. All right, I'm gonna tag everybody in Discord until this
come in. Tony Stewart's just a genius.
He is.
Probably for a good decision. Now, Will Ants has fit the wet compound tires. He's got 10 seconds between him and Ray 46. However, I will say his tires are going to be ice cold at the moment. Fusale, 1.3 behind Ray 46. Now, Uncle Ben's Rice has found his way into 4th. With the constructors, may have just gotten ever to calculate that. I'm going to do that at the end of the race, and I've asked the drivers, the podium finishers at least, to give me about 5 minutes in between, as that's all it's going to take. I think during the race it may have taken me a little bit more detail, coming back out in P6, so he's idiots as well. An interesting choice there. There's only 3 drivers in the field choosing to fit the full wets, Will Ans being one of them. However, I will say, Will Ans 2 seconds this lap since coming out on the wet tires. Do you think maybe coming out on the wets was a bad choice?
Yeah, it looks like it could be. My timing between first and second's all messed up. It still says it's 32 seconds, so.
Yeah, I'd tell you what, the timing has not been in our favor tonight, and something that also hasn't been in anyone's favor tonight. The racing, as detail went around again just now, and is also missing the end plate on his right side. Definitely not what he wanted, considering that he was in the podium positions for a good majority of the race, and, or at least in contention for it. But tell you what, not a bad weekend still for the Racing Point team if they can close it out. Now, Fusale, 0.4 of a second away from Ray 46 as they make their way through this little bus stop-esque chicane through Sector 3. That is, turns 20 and 21. This one could get dicey very soon. Fusale to the inside. Now, is he going to make the overtake into 1? Well, this one's going to be close. Side by side they go. Fusale down to the inside. Ray 46 trying to hold him there as much as he can. Oh, when they make contact through the corner, Fusale somehow hasn't gone around. And it looks like Ray 46 has stayed in contact, has stayed content as well, as neither of them have gone around. Fusale maybe getting pushed just a little bit wide there. Ray 46 suddenly fallen off a little bit more.
He drifted coming out of that corner. I caught the perfect camera angle. It was head on with him. And yeah, he drifted it out of that corner and lost a lot of speed. But really, that was some good side-by-side. A little contact, but no harm, no foul. They walked away and gave us something good to watch there.
Yeah, that was quite fun, actually. I tell you what, they both did a good job of keeping it as clean as they could, considering we are at Singapore and in the wets. Definitely not the best combination there. And I tell you what, I don't think either of them are facing any wing damage at the moment. And I think Ray 46 is probably going to get this spot anyways, as Fusale has a 3-second time penalty. So maybe a closer battle than what.
And Adeltonian's back up to detail.
Ooh, and Adeltonian now detail still has that wing damage as we saw earlier, so Adeltonian might get to move shoulder. Oh, and by wing damage, I mean it's gone. It's gone on the right side. Look, it's not there.
They both do, and Grumpy's hunting them down.
Grumpy with Catman on those full wets. I think actually the first one in the field that go on the full wets. Slowly coming in on this as well. My oh my. Now, I tell you what, there was a lot of speculation, maybe a little controversy as well, as to why it was randomized to put Singapore the last race of the season, as we see Adeltonian having understeer and getting into detail on the right-hand side, going through that section of the track. But a lot of people, I don't want to say complained about Singapore being on the schedule, but maybe complained about it being the last race of the season. But I tell you what, I'm not complaining at all. This has been a very fun race to watch here, and I tell you what, we are... I still think the Constructors is going to be up for grabs with 2 left to go. If you'd like to take over, I can go ahead and calculate that now because it's gone. It's changed a little bit. I think both of our drivers have moved up at least a spot since then.
Definitely. I'm still on with Adeltonian in detail here. Go ahead and jump out with Grumpy as he chases him down as they're side by side. They're really pushing it here. We'll see. Grumpy should be just patient here. I think they're going to end up pushing each other with no wings. It's a non-wing party for Grumpy's wing party, so, I mean, I think it's just a matter of time before he gets them. Oh, his detail goes deep on that one. Detail backed off, let him by. That's a detail for you. He's a good racer. Realizes that there's nothing he can do there. So Grumpy will set out to get 8 Eltonian. No changes otherwise. El Capitano still down 11th with Will in first. And you got Uncle Ben's in 4th and Nehru in 6th for the constructors. Is your head smoking over there? Sure sounds like it.
Mine?
Yeah. With your mathematician.
Getting at it really quickly with 52.
Don't forget to carry the 1. And Grumpy's got it down under a second here.
Oh my. Okay. The gap currently is 3 points between Renault and, I believe, but to 489 currently. That.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, and I tell you what, there's still time for things to happen as well. I don't think Nehru Nix is going to get anything done here, but maybe just somehow Uncle Ben's race could potentially upend this. Well, would you look at that? The recording's actually run so long, I had to start a new one. I can't say I've had that so far this season, maybe once in Bahrain, but that was about it. But Uncle Ben's race.
Just for your points there, you know, Fuzz is catching Will. He's got him down to 1.3 now. He does have the 3-second penalty, but...
Now, isn't the gap between first and second 3 points?
Yep, it's 3.
So, I mean, Fusil really has to hope that Will Ans puts together a catastrophic mistake here. 3 seconds, and Fusil can come through and get the spot. Now, remember, once Will Ans came out of the pits, he was a whole 10 seconds ahead of second place. Since that, now with just over a lap to go, probably a lap and a half to go, it's down to 0.5 of a second. And I think Will Ans might be kicking himself just a little bit, fitting the way. Now, I tell you what, Fusil's going to have a lot of work to do. If he can put 3 seconds on Will Ans, we will have a tie for the constructor championship. Fusil's going to get the spot. Will Ans, maybe then he hit the wall. No, he's still side by side. I think Will Ans might be missing a bit of his plate, though, on the right-hand side. Camera angle's out good to me. Thanks, Codemasters. That one is terrible.
Nope, he's good.
It looks like
he's
Will
good.
Ans is going to get that spot. Wow, almost stopping here. Fusil still not that far behind. Oh, Will Ans got a big wiggle coming out of the corner. It looks like Will Ans is just struggling with grip right now. I know he's on 2 laps. Oh, you're telling me he only fit the wets 2 laps ago? That doesn't seem right. Did he come in again? Unless I was mathematician.
I don't think so. I guess all of a sudden I noticed it was just 1.3, and I was like, oh, this could get interesting. Oh, Fuzz slid out a little bit there.
Fusil, I mean, Will Ans theoretically could pick up a 3 seconds on this lap. Oh, Will Ans going to get loose coming out of turn 2. Fusil's going to try the left-hand side. Now, if you remember anything about F2 last season, I almost picked up a penalty on this, and Fusil goes around making contact with Will Ans on the left-hand side.
Lost the right end plate on it.
Wow. That
with
was
all that going
unprecedented.
On, Ray is hunting him down now.
Whew. That could have just locked up his championship there. Fusil. The door wide open for Renault to come in and take it. At least tie as well. What are we doing? How did that happen? It's ended in Fusil dropping to 2 seconds behind, and he's also missing quite a hefty bit of his front wing. I'd say, what if this happened maybe 3 laps ago? This would be a completely different story, because I feel like Fusil might still be able to catch him here. He's hanging quite solid, about 2.1 seconds. Now it looks like it's starting to drop back now. But
thing
for a
to
little
look
bit
at,
there,
Ray, I don't know what his gap is because mine's frozen, but whatever his gap is, there's a 3-second penalty for Fuzz. That could easily change the podium spot there.
Yeah, and as it stands right now, Ray is 2.2 seconds behind Fusil in that spot. So as it stands right now, Ray 46 is going to get that position as Will Ans making his way into the stadium section. what a dominant season it's been for Will Hands. It's not always been the most consistent. I think Will Hands has had a lot of positions during this season where he's been kicking himself for not being more consistent, for letting Renault have the door open, for letting sometimes Benz Rice have the door open. But it's all going to work out in the end, and Will Hands will take not only the win tonight in Singapore, but your Season 3 Division 2 Drivers' Championship, and that will also seal the deal. Did Ray get him?
Good job,
Ray did
Ray.
get him by 9/10 of a second. Yeah. Shout out to Ray 46. Uncle Ben's Rice picking up 5 seconds for not serving a penalty, although I don't think it's going to matter. But as long as El Capitano finishes in 11th place, which I think it very well is going to, as it still says, the other guy is about a lap behind. That is Z Smith, and yeah, he doesn't look anywhere close. It looks like AlphaTauri is going to take the Constructors' Championship near 3 points. Wow. We said that it would come down to the wire, and it most certainly did. Oh, man,
and
that was a fun one, I tell you what.
With this, Soy will be your 3rd promotion. So it'll be Will, Uncle Ben's, and Soy.
So, has dropped down to P6. Niru has gone up to P5.
Oh.
I don't know how much of a gap that actually done there.
Soy had 9 seconds in penalties.
That's 2 points. It's a 1 point differential. 1 singular point between AlphaTauri and Renault at the end of the season. Unbelievable. 1 point separated. Top 2 spots. And I think Willian's going to be ecstatic to hear that when he comes through this party. Man. That was wild, and Willian's taking first position, and driver of the day, Ray 46, rightfully so as well. Nicely done from him. Wow. Unbelievable stuff. Monkey, would you like to run us through the final order here once it comes up? As I'm going to tell these other laps to join the party very shortly. What a race.
Alright, so you got Will, your Season 3 Division 2 champion, with the win. And then Ray with an outstanding podium there in P2. Fuzz rounds out the podium. And then you got Uncle Ben's P2 in the championship. Good season overall. I know he's going to be disappointed with that, but still nothing to frown on. His teammate right there in 5th gains a spot right at the end because of penalties for Soy. Still a solid finish for Soy. He's going to go ahead and make it into the promotion in the D1 next season. Good luck to him. That'd be a fun one. Be good to see what he can do up there. And then 8 Eltonian in 7th. Detail with a frustrating 8th after running up close to the front all day. Got a pair of Williams in 9th and 10th with Grumpy and JST. El Capitano getting just enough to help out AlphaTauri today in P11. SC Smith in 12. Hightower in 13, which should just secure him into D2 next season. Forza Juve, Puff, and Evil Prime were all DNFs, I believe. Waiting for it to pop back over to that. Yep, those 3 were DNFs.
Wow, and what a race this has been. I'm going to stop my recording now and get these interview guys in here really shortly. Wow, that was incredible. Goodness me.
That was crazy to come to that. 1 single point, and I mean, that is everything right there at the end.
Let's get... oh boy, I'm so excited to hear Will's reaction. It's ridiculous. I think honestly, he's probably sweating buckets right now. He knows he's won the Drivers' Championship, but he has no idea what's transpired with the Drivers' Championship, or the Constructors' Championship, rather. Oh man. Alright, let's get the keys in here, if he can. Finally, Ray 46 feels like it's been a while. Will, I need you to save any reaction until we start the thing, because I tell you what, you're very deprived at what's just transpired here. As we're getting our podium drivers in here, congratulations on the win. Before we start the
I'm scared.
Division 2
I say you make him wait.
interview. You're gonna make
I'm
me
scared,
wait.
boys.
All right.
What's transpired? Oh no.
Oh, you gotta wait. You gotta do the interview before
Ray
you
Force-
before
Ray
you get
46.
told.
Ray 46, congratulations, man. It feels like it's been so long since we've had you on podium. Well done. Oh, man.
Yeah, that was
Just
good to
wait
see you,
and-
man.
just wait and
Even
see.
you had internet issues and still got yourself back in there. It's a hell of a race, man.
Yeah, well, it seemed that every time that other dude kept disconnecting, he would kick me out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was getting an error code, and then I joined, have to exit and rejoin just to be able to take over my car.
Yeah, it's.
The first time it was under safety car.
Yeah, I think you dropped out right as the safety car happened.
Yeah. Because I was, I remember talking to my teammates, I was like, shit, I was about to pit too. And before the safety car came out.
All right.
Yeah, it was exciting.
Well,
The
we can
rain.
interview.
The rain was crazy.
Yeah, that was really fun. We can interview Fusale if he gets here.
Jeez, there's some
Alright.
mad background noise going on, you know. Madness.
Yeah. So, let's start our interviews now. We've got 2 out of the 3 podium finishers. I'm not sure if Fusale's going to join us, but we have Ray 46 and we have Will Ans. Ray 46, I'm going to start with you. This season has had every up and down it could be imaginable for both you and the Red Bull team in general, but you've got yourself a 2nd place tonight to cap off the season. Plus, you're going to be staying in Division 2 for next season anyways. Tell me how it feels. Oh, there's Fusale. Oh, hey, Fusale.
Hi, good evening.
It was great, you know, to finally be on the podium and secure my G2 spot. The beginning of the season wasn't ideal, starting off with like 3 DNFs out of 5 races. And then my teammate missing half the races also didn't help us for the constructors. But overall, you know, I feel good, ending on a high.
I tell you what, it's been absolutely great to watch you bounce back and finish second tonight. Now Singapore was definitely going to throw a wrench into plans, even and didn't help you. I have to ask though. Now next season it's going to be obviously transitioning into the new game. If you've gotten a chance to play the new game yet, how much work are you planning on putting into these couple of weeks that we have?
A lot more than I did for 2020, for sure. I've gotten to try the cars a little. I'm just getting used to it. I'm trying to not lose the rear.
I'll tell you what, congratulations on the podium. Thank you for joining us, Fusale. Actually, well, Mug, do you have any other questions to ask? Actually, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I did. I got one.
Apologies for that.
So, hey, how much was your expectation coming into tonight? Did you think you had a podium in you? Did you get a lot of practice in?
Nope, I had like 2 laps right before I started. I'm having a baby soon, so I've been like focusing on that and not racing too much. Hopefully he comes this weekend or something. But when I started racing, when I was like P4, gaining on detail and Soy Loco, I was like, okay, I could smell the podium if I have my internet or if I don't get kicked out again. And I got kicked out again right before the rain, but luckily I was able to come join back in and hold the car together after almost losing it like twice.
Yeah, you had some good battles there. It was good to see you up there. Happy to see that for you, and congrats on the baby when it comes.
Oh yeah, solid motivation to get in it as well. Early congratulations. Very, very happy for you there. Fusale. So I tell you what, Fusale. These last couple of races, you've been one of the hottest drivers in the division, aside from the obvious candidates of Will Ans and Uncle Ben's Rice. But you have been on a tear. Tell me, how does it feel? You've ended the season on a strong note. How are you feeling right now, dog?
I appreciate that, but yeah, I was hoping I could get the win today. I made a couple really poor mistakes, so I'm not happy about that, but it's good. It's been fun racing, and it's good to know that I'm in a division where I have decent pace and like a lot of good competition. So, like, it's good to know that if I fuck up, I'm gonna lose out. So.
Yeah, well, and I tell you what, you definitely came into the division. Obviously going in, I see a new driver come into the division. I'm like, all right, let's see what this guy's got. And you definitely have got something to make some waves next season. And speaking of next season, same thing. We're transitioning into F1 2021. How much, if you have the game, how much work are you planning on putting into it?
I don't have it yet, but I mean, I've heard a lot of the feedback from the others who have raced, and yeah, it looks like it's a little bit less forgiving, and there's less front downforce. So I'm just gonna go as aggressive as I can on my setups and hope for the best, because I feel like that's what's worked for me in the last few weeks, where my setups are a little aggressive. I can go around the corner a little bit quicker, and just manage to hold it. So I'm just gonna hope that formula works again.
Anything to add, Morgan?
Yeah, I got one. Actually, it's a two-part question for you. So, were you on a party chat with Puff during the race?
I was.
How much crap were you talking to him? You drove him into a DNF. What happened there?
Okay, first of all, he hit me. Second of all, I mean, that like spinning out over there, because I didn't mean to brake as late, or I didn't expect Will to brake that early into that corner, so I just ended up on the inside and got squeezed. Puff hit me, so that's not my fault. He, even though he likes to blame me for it, and then he just basically spun going into the pit lane, which is also not my fault. He spun on his own accord. He was like a second up the road, so I'm not gonna take responsibility for Puff at all. But yeah, I have a very nice view on my stream, and shortly after he crashes, I laugh very loudly. So if you want to hear that, I can post a clip of it.
Yeah, we were talking during the stream of it. Because I know you guys talk a lot of crap back and forth in this chat and other chats, and it was just like, oh, I guarantee there's something going on there.
Yeah. We were happy with our pace, to be honest. Like, I feel like the race kind of came back to us. I essentially stayed in his DRS, and he was making a lot of inroads on the drivers up front. So I just basically continued that and made sure I just followed through every time he made an overtake. So yeah, I was happy with the way things were going, but then if that one incident at the start hadn't happened, we probably might have finished one and two, or both would have been on the podium, potentially. So
yeah, definitely. Good bounce back though. I mean, getting on the podium after the spin, that's always a good one. So congrats on that. We'll see you next season.
Yep.
Absolutely, Fusio on that. Will ends. So. The situation going into the race was you just pretty much had to finish the race in order to take the driver's championship. So that was in your mind already. It was essentially you just had to keep it clean. Okay. Constructors was a little bit more up in the air. You weren't sure about that. I was talking to you earlier. You were definitely feeling a bit nervous over that. When we were going through the final 3 laps, it looked all decided. And then, at the end of the race, Niru and Nix actually jumped up a position and gained a couple points. However, I am happy to say that Alpha have also taken the Constructors' Championship 492 to 491 points. So I have my maths correct, which I might not. I did struggle with maths in high school, but I tell you what, from what I can calculate, AlphaTauri have won the Constructors' Championship by 1 mere point. Congratulations!
Let's go!
Wow,
Damn.
Honestly, and that was a big thing the whole night. I mean, first of all, I want to ask you about your nerves going through the rest of the race, because obviously you had the rain coming through. How did you feel going through this race?
I was praying for it to be dry. I just wanted the most calm, least variables possible race going, and instead it ended up raining. I ended up on wet tyres on a track that was not that far off dries, with fuse ale halfway up my fucking gearbox.
I mean, yeah, I think I did well to just keep following, like, just stick with you throughout. Anytime you tried putting a car between us, I didn't let that, get in the way.
Yeah, no, you just shredded through the lap traffic, just straight through. So yeah, the pressure was insane. I was like 45 seconds in the lead at one point, and then I won the race by about 2 seconds. So.
Yeah, I don't know why you pitted for wets. Honestly, I don't think that was a very good decision.
And that's what
Jeff
we were
told me
saying
the rain
too,
was
as
going to
well.
get heavier. And then, I don't know if you were watching Hotspot, but I don't know what those 2 guys were doing ahead of me. I went into the pit lane and they were just parked there. They were just parked.
Were they?
Going about 2 miles an hour. I lost about 15 seconds. Just
Now,
sat
did you
there.
pit twice? Did you pit twice? Because I noticed you pit earlier for the wets, and then did you have to pit again?
No, I went. I boxed some of the first safety car from mediums onto another set of mediums, and then I boxed onto inters, and then under the VSC I boxed onto wets.
So you did make 3 stops.
God knows, I'm not counting.
Well, I tell you what, Will, it's been an absolutely great season. Yeah, I bet. It's first of all, it's like what 3 a.m. there right now. So and that makes the win all the more impressive that you're able to come out week in and week out and stay up to the wee hours of the morning and still put on a show. So you've won Division 2. Not by a landslide, but at least 20 points on that. And then the constructors, you also took the win in that. Next year, you move up into Division 1. Now, you've already had a taste of Division 1 already at Brazil, and I hear that didn't go as planned, but I tell you what, how confident are you going into Division 1 next season?
I've got 5 words. Right. Mm-hmm. Mystic, come at me, bro. Let's go.
Oh, man. I love it. Oh, man, we're already on it. Monkey, do you have anything to add?
So, not really a question, but you won the championship, so I'm expecting a Shuey video within 24 hours to be posted in Division 2 chat. All right, that's all I got for you. Congratulations, it was a good season, good racing with you. Go take it to Mystic if you can. That'd be great. Be good to see him have a little competition.
Thanks, bud.
Oh, man. Okay, it's been an absolutely great race today. What are your final thoughts?
Yeah, it's been... I'm mad I didn't get to race the whole season, but overall, great season. As a whole, for Midwest, has been great to have 4 divisions that are so closely packed with points, and our numbers keeping up throughout the whole year of the game, which is crazy. A lot of leagues will see drop off at the end of games, but up until this week we had run like 3 or 4 weeks in a row with 80 drivers between the 4 divisions, so it's pretty cool to see that many people coming together all at the same time and having a good time. I'm excited to see the broadcasting next year with you guys mixing it up, so pumped to see that, ready to go.
I forgot about that until about right now, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, we are. I tell you what, this league is put together. Now, we all said at the beginning of the season that Div 2 was going to be the most exciting division in the league, and I think it's definitely lived up to that name. And I tell you what, you guys in Division 2 are going to absolutely benefit and grow from Fallen Monkeys taking over comms next season. It's a little bittersweet for me, but it was kind of I don't want to say it was my idea, but it definitely was. I was like, all right, listen, Div 2, best division in the league. Let's get these guys live permanently. But you'll still see me occasionally, as I think me, Crash, and Monkey are actually, Fallen Monkeys are going to be rotating around divisions. You might even see Crash in Div 3 from time to time, which is going to be interesting to see. But no better way to cap it off the really, really good and very going to be tough to beat Division 2 season this has been for all of us at Midwest F1 League. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in a couple weeks on F1 2021 for Season 4 of the Midwest F1 League.